My friends, I want to tell you something very simple but very important. Many people ask me, how can I learn English fast? They think there is some secret shortcut, but let me be honest with you. The fastest way is not about tricks, it is about attitude. When I was young, I was not born into English. I struggled, but I made English my friend, not my subject. If you want to learn quickly, you have to make English part of your life. Don't wait for a classroom, don't wait for a teacher. Every day, talk to yourself in English. Every day, listen to English songs, movies, speeches. Don't just study it, live with it. The problem is, many people are afraid of mistakes, afraid of being laughed at. But mistakes are proof that you are trying. When I first spoke English, people laughed at me. My pronunciation was wrong, my grammar was broken, but I kept going. I told myself, if I don't speak, I will never learn. If I stay silent, I will never improve. You cannot swim by reading a book about swimming, you have to jump into the water. That is how you learn English fast. You open your mouth, you try, you fail, you try again, and suddenly one day, you realize you can speak. The secret is consistency. 1 hour a day for 365 days is better than 10 hours in one day and nothing for the next month. Small steps, but every single day. Read something in English. Write one paragraph in English. Watch something in English. Speak one sentence in English. These little steps build a habit, and habits build fluency. You have to give yourself a reason. Why do you want to learn English? Is it for your career, for your dreams, for your freedom? Keep that reason in your heart, because on days when you feel tired, that reason will push you. For me, learning English opened doors to the world. I could understand new ideas, meet new people, and see opportunities that I never imagined. Without English, I would still be in a very small corner of life. So I tell you, don't just learn English, fall in love with it. Treat it as your key to the world. Speak even when you are shy. Practice even when you are tired. Keep going even when people laugh. And one day you will look back and smile, because the language that once felt impossible will become your strength. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being brave. Be brave, keep learning, and your English will grow faster than you ever imagined. My friends, let me tell you something important. Many people come to me and ask, how can I learn English very fast? They expect me to give them a trick, some kind of magic formula, but the truth is, there is no magic. Learning English is not just about grammar rules or vocabulary lists. It is about your attitude, your relationship with the language. And that brings me to the very first step, the foundation of everything. You must fall in love with English. Yes, this is the first step. You might think, why love? I just want to speak fluently. I just want a job, or to travel, or to pass an exam. But let me ask you, have you ever seen someone become truly great at something they don't enjoy? Think about it. If you hate exercising, can you become a great athlete? If you hate music, can you become a great musician? Of course not. In the same way, if you think of English as a punishment, as homework, as something that makes you suffer, you will always struggle. You will sit with a book in front of you, but your mind will be somewhere else. You will memorize a word today and forget it tomorrow. You will feel tired, bored, frustrated. That is why so many people give up. But when you love English, everything changes. It no longer feels like work. It feels like joy. You don't study English because you have to. You practice it because you want to. You become curious. You want to know more. You want to hear more. You want to speak more. That love becomes the fuel that makes your learning faster than you ever imagined. Let me share with you how I did it. When I was young, English was not common around me. Nobody in my family spoke it, and schools did not give me much help. But I wanted to learn, and the first thing I told myself was, I must not treat English like a boring subject. I must make it my friend. So every day, I tried to connect with it in a way that made me feel happy. I listened to the radio. I repeated words like a song. I talked to myself, even if my grammar was wrong. Slowly, English became a part of me, not something outside of me. You can do the same. If you love movies, watch them in English. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just enjoy the story, the emotions, the sounds. If you love music, listen to songs in English. Sing along, even if your pronunciation is not perfect. If you love reading, pick up books, even simple ones, and read them in English. Connect English with the things you already love. That way, every time you enjoy your hobby, you also practice the language. This is how you make English your friend. Remember, when you love a language, you are not afraid of mistakes. Think about when you talk to a close friend. You don't worry about every word, you just speak from your heart. That is the same feeling you must have with English. Don't treat it like a strict teacher who will punish you if you are wrong. Treat it like a good friend who will listen to you no matter what. When you love English like that, you will speak without fear, and that confidence will make you grow very fast. Falling in love with English also means being patient. Love is not built in one day. It is a relationship you create over time. At first, it may feel difficult. You may feel shy, nervous, even frustrated. But if you keep giving time to it, keep finding joy in it, one day you will wake up and realize you are no longer forcing yourself to practice, you are excited to do it. That excitement is the true secret of learning fast. So I tell you, before anything else, before worrying about grammar, before chasing big words, before comparing yourself with others, make sure you take this first step. Fall in love with English. Smile when you hear it. Be curious when you see it. Treat it as your door to the world. If you can do this, the rest of the journey will become easier, faster, and more enjoyable. My friends, after you take the first step, falling in love with English, the second step is just as important, maybe even more important. And that is, do not be afraid of mistakes. This is the biggest problem I see in so many people. They study for years, they memorize thousands of words, they know the rules, but when it comes time to speak, they freeze. Their mouth is closed. Why? Because they are afraid. Afraid that someone will laugh at them. Afraid that they will sound stupid. Afraid that they will make mistakes. But let me tell you something from my own life. I made thousands of mistakes when I started learning English. My pronunciation was terrible, my grammar was broken, sometimes people didn't even understand me. And yes, they laughed. Yes, they corrected me. But did I stop? No. I kept speaking, I kept trying, I kept failing. And do you know what happened? Every mistake became a lesson. Every time I failed, I became a little bit better. Think about a child learning to walk. Do they fall? Yes, of course, hundreds of times. But do they say, "Oh, I fell, so I will never walk again"? No. They get up, they try again, and one day they can walk, then they can run. That is exactly how learning English works. If you are afraid to fall, you will never take the first step. If you are afraid to make mistakes, you will never open your mouth. I remember when I first tried to speak to foreigners in English, my heart was beating fast, I was nervous, my hands were shaking, and yes, I said many wrong words. But I realized something. People don't laugh because you are bad. People respect you because you are trying. They know how difficult it is to speak another language. So instead of laughing, many people will admire your courage. The truth is, nobody cares if your English is perfect. They care if you can communicate. If you can share your ideas, your feelings, your thoughts, that is enough. Perfection is not necessary, but bravery is. When you stop worrying about mistakes, your brain becomes free. You stop overthinking grammar rules, and your natural voice comes out. That is when real learning begins. You see, mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teacher. Every time you say something wrong, your brain remembers it. And the next time you say it a little bit better. Slowly, the mistakes become fewer. Your confidence becomes stronger, and your English becomes faster. But if you never make mistakes, you never learn. That is why being afraid is the slowest way, and being brave is the fastest way. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are in a classroom, and the teacher asks a question in English. You know the answer, but you hesitate. You are afraid to say it, afraid of being wrong, so you stay quiet. But the student next to you, who is less prepared, raises their hand and tries. Maybe they get it wrong. The teacher corrects them. Now that student learned something new, while you learned nothing. Who do you think will improve faster? The one who tried, not the one who stayed silent. I want you to remember this. Silence will never teach you English. Only speaking will. And speaking means mistakes. So the faster you accept your mistakes, the faster you will learn. If you feel shy, start small. Talk to yourself in the mirror, record your voice. Speak one sentence every day. Don't aim to be perfect, aim to be brave, because courage grows like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And one day, without even realizing, you will be speaking confidently in front of others. So my friends, the second step is clear. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Wear your mistakes like badges of honor. Be proud of them, because every mistake means you are learning. Every mistake means you are one step closer to fluency. If you can change your mindset, if you can see mistakes as progress instead of failure, you will not only learn English fast, you will enjoy the journey. My friends, after falling in love with English and after removing the fear of mistakes, the next step is the one that truly makes the difference between slow learners and fast learners. And that is, practice every single day. I want you to think about something simple. If you eat food only once a week, can you survive? No, you need food every day. If you breathe only once in a while, can you live? No, you need to breathe every second. Learning English is the same. If you only practice once a week, once a month, or only before exams, how can you expect to improve fast? You must give English to your brain every single day, just like you give food to your body and oxygen to your lungs. Many people make this mistake. They study for 5 hours one day and then they stop for a whole week. They feel tired and their brain forgets everything. This is not the way. Learning does not work like that. The human brain loves repetition, not pressure. So the secret is not how many hours you study at once, but how often you practice. 15 minutes every day is more powerful than 5 hours once a week. Small steps, but consistent. That is how you grow fast. When I was learning, I made it my daily routine. Every morning, I would read a few pages in English. Every day, I would listen to something in English. Every day, I would try to speak, even just 1 or 2 sentences. It became part of my lifestyle, like brushing my teeth. I didn't wait for motivation. I didn't wait for the perfect time. I made English my daily habit, and because of that, it became natural to me. I want you to do the same. Don't think you need big time to practice. Maybe you are busy, maybe you have work or school, but even in your busy day, you can find moments. When you are traveling on the bus, listen to English podcasts. When you are eating, play English videos in the background. Before you sleep, read 1 page of an English book. When you are alone, talk to yourself in English about your day. These small actions, repeated daily, will change you. Think about exercise. If you go to the gym one day and lift heavy weights and then never go again, will you become strong? No. But if you lift a little every day, slowly, your muscles grow. Practice works the same way. Your brain is like a muscle. Every time you use English, it becomes stronger. But if you stop, it becomes weak again. Some people say, but I don't have anyone to practice with. My friends, you don't need someone else to practice. You can practice with yourself. Stand in front of the mirror and describe what you see in English. Record your voice, then listen and correct yourself. Write down your thoughts in English every night. The truth is, you already have the best partner, yourself. If you wait for others, you may wait forever. But if you start with yourself, you will never stop. Consistency also builds confidence. At first, maybe you can only say a few words, but after a week of daily practice, those words turn into sentences. After a month, those sentences turn into conversations. After a year, you will look back and realize that you have built fluency step by step. This is how you learn English very fast, through daily discipline. I will tell you one secret. Your progress will not always be visible day by day. Sometimes you will feel like you are not improving. Sometimes you will feel stuck. But just like planting a seed, growth is happening underground before you see it above the soil. Every word you read, every sentence you speak, every mistake you make, it is all building inside you. And then suddenly one day you will notice it. You will understand something without effort. You will speak without fear, and you will realize how far you have come. So I want you to make this promise to yourself. From today, I will practice English every single day. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or 50 minutes. What matters is that you show up every day. Make it a habit, make it part of your life, make it something you cannot live without, because the fastest learners are not the smartest ones. They are the ones who never stop practicing. My friends, after learning to love English, after removing the fear of mistakes, and after making practice a daily habit, comes another step that can completely transform the speed of your learning. This step is very powerful, and I call it surround yourself with English. Think about it. When a child learns their first language, how do they learn? Nobody gives them grammar books. Nobody gives them vocabulary lists. They learn because they are surrounded by the language every single day. They hear their parents speaking. They hear people around them talking. They listen to sounds. They repeat them. They slowly connect meaning. They don't study the language, they absorb it. That is the natural way to learn. And if you want to learn English fast, you must recreate the same environment for yourself. But here's the challenge. Maybe you don't live in an English-speaking country. Maybe people around you don't use English. That's okay. Today, the world has changed. You don't need to travel abroad to surround yourself with English. You can bring English to your home, to your phone, to your daily life. Start by changing the little things. Set your phone to English. Change the language of your social media to English. When you search online, search in English. When you write reminders or notes, write them in English. Let English be everywhere around you. The more you see it, the more natural it becomes. Next, surround your ears with English. Listen to English podcasts, audiobooks, or motivational talks while you are traveling, exercising, or even cleaning your room. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Your brain is smart. Just by hearing the rhythm, the sounds, the flow, your brain is learning. Slowly, the words will begin to make sense. And surround your eyes with English. Read books, articles, magazines, blogs. Even if it's just a few sentences, read something every day. Watch English movies, TV shows, or even short videos online. At first, use subtitles if you need to, but over time, try to listen without them. This will train your mind to connect directly with the language. But most importantly, surround your mouth with English. Speak as much as possible. If you have friends who are also learning, agree to speak only English together, even if it feels strange. Join online communities where people talk in English. And if you don't have anyone, talk to yourself. Yes, talk to yourself. Describe your day out loud. Explain what you are doing. Practice conversations in your head. Every word you speak brings you closer to fluency. I remember when I was young, I couldn't travel to English-speaking countries, but I surrounded myself with English in every way I could. I listened to English radio even when I didn't understand half of it. I repeated phrases I heard on TV. I read whatever material I could find. And slowly, English stopped feeling like a foreign subject. It became part of my environment, part of my identity. The more you surround yourself with English, the less effort you need. It becomes natural. You are not forcing yourself to study, you are living inside the language. That is when learning becomes fast. It's like being in water. When you are surrounded by it, you learn to swim quickly. But if you only touch the water once in a while, you will always struggle. Here's a simple exercise. Choose 1 hour a day to make your environment English only. During that hour, everything you do, listening, reading, speaking, should be in English. It doesn't matter if you are cooking, walking, or resting, just keep English around you. If you can do this daily, soon your mind will start thinking in English automatically. And let me tell you something powerful. When you surround yourself with English, you stop learning with effort. You start learning naturally. You begin to think in English without translating. You start to understand expressions without memorizing. You begin to feel the language instead of just studying it. That is the fastest path to fluency. So don't wait for the perfect teacher. Don't wait for the perfect course. Create your own environment. Build your own English world around you. Because when you surround yourself with English, you are no longer just learning it. You are living it. And when you live in English, you grow in English day by day without even realizing how fast you are improving. My friends, after you fall in love with English, after you remove the fear of mistakes, after you practice every day, and after you surround yourself with the language, there is another step that separates slow learners from fast learners. And that step is this: use English, don't just study it. I have met so many people who study English for years. They can pass exams, they can write grammar exercises, they can memorize long lists of vocabulary, but when they meet a foreigner and need to speak, they cannot say even one simple sentence. Why? Because they only studied English, they never used it. They treated English like a school subject, not like a living language. Think about swimming. You can read 10 books about how to swim. You can watch 100 videos about swimming techniques. You can even memorize all the rules of how to move your arms and legs. But if you never jump into the water, will you be able to swim? No, you will sink. Swimming is not something you study, it is something you do, and English is exactly the same. If you want to learn English very fast, you must stop keeping it on the paper and start bringing it into your life. Use it whenever and wherever you can. If you learn a new word, don't just write it in your notebook. Use it in a sentence. If you study a grammar rule, don't just memorize it. Apply it in your speaking or writing. If you read something in English, don't just close the book. Talk about it in English, even to yourself. This is how learning becomes real. I remember when I was young, I didn't have many chances to study in a classroom, but I forced myself to use English in daily life. I greeted people in English, even if they answered in my local language. I wrote notes to myself in English. I explained my ideas in broken English, but I used it. And slowly, piece by piece, my broken English became better English. You don't need perfect situations to use English. You can create them. When you send text messages, try writing them in English. When you post something on social media, post it in English. When you watch a movie, pause it and repeat the lines in English. When you meet someone who knows a little English, practice with them. Even if it's only, "Hello, how are you?" It's still practice. The more you use it, the faster your brain accepts it as normal. Many people say, "But I don't want to sound stupid." Let me tell you something. You will sound stupid only if you never try. Nobody cares if your grammar is perfect. Nobody cares if your pronunciation is perfect. What people care about is your ability to communicate, and communication only happens when you use the language. Even thinking is a way of using English. Try this. Instead of thinking in your own language and then translating, start thinking directly in English. For example, when you wake up, tell yourself in English, "I am brushing my teeth. I am going to work. I am feeling tired today." At first, it will feel slow, but with time, your brain will stop translating and start thinking naturally in English. That is one of the fastest ways to improve. Another powerful method is writing. Write a diary in English every night. Write about your day, your dreams, your feelings. Don't worry about grammar, just write. Later, you can check your mistakes, but the important thing is to use English actively. Writing trains your brain to organize thoughts in English, and that will make speaking easier. Remember, studying is important, but studying alone will never give you fluency. You can know everything about English in theory, but if you never use it, it will remain locked inside you. The key is practice. And practice means usage. The more you use English in real situations, the faster you will grow. So, my friends, stop waiting for the perfect moment to use English. There is no perfect moment. The perfect time is now. Use English when you buy something, when you meet someone, when you are online, when you are alone. Use it in your speaking, in your writing, in your thinking. Live in English, not just study it, because fluency doesn't come from memorizing. It comes from using. My friends, after you fall in love with English, after you remove the fear of mistakes, after you practice every day, after you surround yourself with English, and after you start using it instead of only studying it, there is one more step that gives you the real power to continue. And that step is this: have a strong reason. Let me tell you something. Learning English is not always easy. There will be days when you feel tired, days when you feel like you are not improving, days when you feel frustrated because people don't understand you. And on those days, many people give up. They close the book, they stop practicing, and they say, maybe English is not for me. But the people who succeed, the ones who learn English very fast, are the ones who never give up. And the only way you never give up is if you have a strong reason in your heart. You must ask yourself, why do I want to learn English? Not just because it is important, not just because everyone else is learning it. That is not strong enough. You need a personal reason, a deep reason that pushes you even when you are tired. Maybe you want to learn English to get a better job, to give your family a better life. Maybe you want to travel the world and speak with people everywhere. Maybe you want to study abroad or build an international business, or simply open the door to knowledge and ideas from around the world. Whatever your reason is, it must be strong enough to keep you going when your energy is low. When I was young, my reason was very clear. I wanted to see a bigger world. I didn't want to stay only in my small corner, limited by my language. I knew that if I could learn English, I could talk to people from different countries, I could understand new ideas, I could connect with the world. That reason gave me power. Even when I failed, even when people laughed at my broken English, I reminded myself, this is the key to my future. This is the door to my dreams. And that belief kept me moving forward. A strong reason makes learning faster because it gives meaning to your effort. Without meaning, practice feels heavy, reading feels boring, speaking feels embarrassing. But with meaning, every small step feels important. Every page you read feels like progress. Every mistake feels like growth. Your reason turns struggle into motivation. Think about an athlete training for the Olympics. Do you think their training is easy? No, it's painful, it's tiring. Sometimes they even cry. But why do they continue? Because their reason is strong. They want the medal, they want the glory, they want to make their country proud. That reason is what makes them wake up every morning and train again. You need the same kind of reason for learning English. So here is what I want you to do. Take a notebook and write down your reason. Don't write, I want to learn English because it's useful. Write the truth. Write something that touches your heart. Maybe it's, I want to learn English because I dream of studying in another country. Maybe it's, I want to learn English so I can speak confidently in front of people. Maybe it's, I want to learn English to change my life and create opportunities for my family. Write it down and keep it close to you. On days when you feel like stopping, read it again. It will remind you why you started. A strong reason also creates passion, and passion is the fastest teacher. When you have passion, you don't need someone to push you. You push yourself. You don't say, I have to practice English. You say, I want to practice English. That small change in mindset makes a big difference. Remember, my friends, the journey of learning English is not just about language. It is about your future. Your reason is the compass that will guide you. Without it, you will feel lost. With it, you will always know where you are going. So never forget this sixth step. Before every practice session, before every mistake, before every effort, remind yourself of your reason. Because when your reason is strong, nothing can stop you. Not fear, not failure, not even time.